Alright then, so we've basically got most of this capping done. We just need to fix up this corner. This is like an inner corner of an exterior wall, so it's not going to be the same as this this kind of outside corner. For this I'm just going to Shift B and duplicate, and I'll copy again. This one where's that after going? Back here, okay. This one I want to rotate. Oh my god, what happened? Minus 90 degrees. Early mornings are not easy. Alright, let's go with that. Okay, so I have this. I'm just going to join them. Control J to join. And now I will set up my cutter. I'm going to make a cutter tool here. So to make it easier on myself, I'm going to snap or cursor to selected. And now from that I will I'll make a plane. So Shift A, mesh, plane. And I'll just bring that up so I can see it a little better. Now I'll rotate this on the green axis here, 90. And on the blue, 45. So from a top-down view, I can kind of move this into place. I'll turn my move gizmo into local view, and that'll just move it along that 45-degree angle. So once it's covering the area I want to cut, I need to do the bottom as well. So from here I'll actually pull this down and just scale the cutter up, and that'll slice through the top and the bottom for me. So I'll X here and delete only faces, and I'll select both objects, isolate, go into top-down orthographic, select the object, select all, select the cutter. You know this by now, I'm sure. Mesh, knife project, cut through active, and that's that. So now I can remove the cutter, and I will just remove these faces that I'm not using. There we go. So that's the interior capping done on the corners now. Okay, so we just need to address this little bit here. So I want to cover these parts of the wall, but I don't want to obviously have it running across in front of the door. So for that, what I could do would be I'll just select this piece and duplicate that out. With snap turned on, I'll move it in place. Now I need to separate it from the object, and with the wall selected, I want to use this pivot point. So wall select, I'm going to right click, snap cursor to selected. Now I'll reset the transforms. You can see the pivot point is over here. Reset these transforms, and now right click, set origin to 3D cursor, and it'll put it back where I want it. Now from here, what I could do would be I'll cut this in half and separate this piece. Now with this I could rotate it. There it is, okay. Right. Every time. 90 degrees here. And now I'm just going to move this into place. I know that this is the section. This is going to tile. This edge here will tile with anything I put beside it. So I want to make sure that that edge doesn't change. This, however, I can bring this in. It doesn't matter about this. The rest of it you're not going to see, because this edge is actually going to disappear into this border of the door here. So what I could do here would be, I'm going to have to move this forward. I'll probably turn off snap for this, and I'll move this into place. So I want this to kind of come here in front of the door. I don't want it to come out too far here though. Now I can, I'll actually go with that. I'll go with that there. I'm going to join these two. Control J, and now I'm going to do the exact same thing I've done. I'll make a plane, and I'm going to use this plane to cut that excess off. So I'll rotate this 90, and then 45 on the blue. I'll isolate these, go into the top down. Need to grab him actually, move him into place. Damn it, what's happening? Okay, I think I need to go back to default to move this. And I'm just going to cover along this line here so I get the best cut. So I'm meeting on that corner and I'm coming out along that corner here. So that'll work. Alright. I remove the face here, select that. X, delete only face. Now we'll cut this off. Now, there's the cut. So now I can remove that cutter. I'll reset all transforms here and set origin back to cursor. And now from there I can just use a mirror and mirror this over. So add mirror and apply. So now we've got the cap in there on the bottom as well, so it doesn't actually affect the door either, which is perfect. Alright, so that's all the capping done. So now what we need to do is we kind of have everything done here, so we can start making extra wall designs and adding them into this as we see fit. We don't really have a good place to start from with it though. I think I've got a double window here, but that'll be a pain to actually do. We have to cut the window out every time, so I'm actually going to copy this and I'll select the main window. I want to keep him protected, so I'll actually just drag him over to the other window here. And with this, I want to remove everything apart from the actual wall. So I'll select this guy, highlight just the wall, press Ctrl I and X, delete faces and everything else. And now with this, I want to remove these side edges here, dissolve edges, and I'll mirror. Sorry, not mirror, I'm going to fill these gaps here. Okay, so now all I need to do is grab every edge that isn't a border edge. So that leaves only the outside and those corners. And with that I'll press X and dissolve edges. So now we got our wall back. The textures are pretty stretched. That doesn't matter though, because we're going to be re-UVing this. I'll press Ctrl or and add an edge loop in the side and one down along vertically. So now I can just grab each of these and unwrap. Okay, now select everything. I'll go to editing, and that looks like it's already full to bounds there, so I'll just click back. Now let's have a look at the orientation of these maps. This guy is upside down. I'll turn him in place. Let's look at the sides. This guy needs a 180. This guy here also needs turning, and these. And top fella here. Alright, so now the bottom. and the top just need to be fixed. So these got to be rotated 90 degrees. Pack again, and they're now facing the right way. Here I gotta turn these fellas. Okay, that's right. So with them I'll pack, and these will have to go along the top. So I'm just going to turn my constraint on and move him right up to the top. Yeah, that's all tiled and nice. So all I have to do is grab everything and go to transform in Zen and just move that one stage to the left. So there's our base wall we can start with. Now from that we're going to end up making quite a few different types of different wall segments. I'm going to start with something that's kind of basic, I think, but it's just another play on the corner. It'd be like a corner, but a beveled corner. So if you could imagine, it won't work with this because of the way it's cut, but if I was to split that line, this line here, bevel it out like that, so you're kind of getting a triangle, not a triangle, but a triangle corner, you know. So we're going to set that up, but we're going to make it double, so it's a decent size. So to start with that, I want to make a copy of this because I do want to have one ready to go whenever I need it. And with this, I will duplicate that. And now I'm just going to move him into place here. He's going to be the other side of my corner here. And then what I can do is copy again, Control D, and I'll rotate this one, let's say 45 degrees. And now I can go into top down, and I'm just going to make this kind of match up. So it's hitting here and it's hitting there. So now I just need to cut this section here out of this wall. So the best way I think to do that might be, I'm trying not to ruin the textures in the process. So what I could probably do is I'll snap my cursor to this point here. So snap cursor to selected, and from there I'll make a plane, and I'm going to set up a cutter for this. So I'm going to need this one to be big enough, so I'll scale it up. And this is where things can get pretty complicated, so I'll try to keep this as simple and as clearly explained as possible, but it might get a little confusing. We got 3 pieces here, and this is going to be our front piece. Okay, so if you can see that red line, we're basically going to be following the cut along that, and then we're going to be creating a cut from that corner into where the 2 walls meet here. Now you could use or could you, let me think, yeah, you probably could use a shear tool to get that, but it'll mean having to redo all your UVs again, and because of the way some of these are kind of skewed out, there's no way around avoiding a little bit of stretching, and I'm trying to prioritize really not having to do any UV work on this. So the way I'd approach this then would be, I know I need that 45 degree angle cut, so I'm going to start with that. I need to make a cutting plane for that, so I'll select this piece and I'll isolate it for the moment. And I'm just going to select these front faces here. So I'll press Shift D, duplicate that, T to separate, and then with it selected, I'm going to right click and set origin to geometry. That'll put the pivot point in the middle of this. So now when I expand this, I'm going to press S to scale it up, and it'll scale up in place, and it'll cut through these meshes exactly where I want that to happen. So to keep things a little clearer, I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to select this mesh first. I need to get rid of the face here, so I'll press 3, A, X, and remove only faces. So now I'm going to select this side of the wall first. Go into edit mode, select everything, hold control, select the cutter. This is kind of weird how sensitive it is. I might go right in and select the cutter there. Now I can go into top down, and with that selected, I'm going to actually be going up here to mesh and knife project quite a bit. So for this, I'm just going to add it to my quick favorites here. So with that, I'll press Q, knife project, and just make sure cut through is active. And now I know I need to get rid of these. So kind of clear out as you go, and it'll make it a little less visually noisy on you. So I'll come around and take this side out. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'll do the same with this piece. So select everything, go to top down, control, select the cutter, Q, knife project, and that's that. Now I'll clean out this offcut here. Now you can see what's happening here, but don't worry, we'll come to that. Let's just kind of clean out what we can. Okay, so that's, if you can imagine, the front facing part done. So now we don't really need to clean out a lot here, but we do need to cut this stuff off. Like, there's a lot there that we don't need, and that top piece here as well we don't need. So to do that, I'm going to do it one by one. I'm going to select this cutter. Actually, I'll get rid of that because it has a cross division I don't really want. X, remove. And I'm going to take this ground plane and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. And then in top view, if I can follow on this blue axis, I want to rotate this one 45. Although I don't think it's going to be 45 really. It's not. So I'm just going to have to eyeball this then, I think. I'm just going to scale it down so it's roughly the width of the wall, a little larger. And then I'm going to turn snap off for this. So I'm going to move it into place. And one will put me into, I'll go into edit mode, and one put me into vertex select. But I need to make sure that I have X-ray turned on. So I'm selecting through that. I want to select the top and bottom edge here. And I'm going to just kind of visually line this up so that it's in line with the corners. And I'll bring this into the corner here. So I just want to make sure that that's cutting through there. Then with that, I'll select the wall piece. Where's my cutter gone? Okay, yeah. I should scale this up, shouldn't I? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a little easier to see. So I'll remove that face actually. Now I'll select the wall I want to cut. Is this also been cut? It is. Okay, so I'll start with this. I'll go into edit mode, and for the moment I'll turn off X-ray. I'm going to press A to select everything. Control, and I'll go top down, and I'll try knife project there. So I'll just select everything that I'm keeping, because it's a little handier to see it. And then Control I to select everything else, X, and remove faces. So that worked out quite well. Again, we've actually got no texture cleanup to do, which is always a bonus. Now I actually have to do this wall as well. I forgot about that, so I'll select that. A to select everything. I need to select the cutting tool. Q, knife project. And again, I'm just gonna grab everything that I'm keeping. Now Control I and delete faces. Now I can actually repurpose this cutting tool up to this side, so I'll go into top down, move it up, and again I just want to go into X-ray here. So I'll tab into edit mode, go to vertex, turn on X-ray, and now I'm just going to select these vertices, and I'm going to reset the edges so that it's cutting through on this side. Okay, so something like that. And then I'll select the piece I want to cut. I'll turn off X-ray here, select the cutter, go top down. Now, okay, that's that. Control I to invert selection, X, and remove faces. Now just select the wall again. This piece, select all, select the cutter, go top down, knife reject. Alright. Now, that's that. So we were able to cut a beveled corner out of that without having to UV it again, which is pretty nice. The cutter tool I don't need now. There's one other thing I need to do, and it's kind of important. We know that this piece, before we join them, this piece is going to be running exactly in line with, I'll turn the snap on here for safety, with everything that it runs beside. So any other wall will run smoothly into this. So we know that we don't want to change anything about this as far as placement of vertices goes, because it'll throw everything off then. So we just need to make sure that this wall, any adjustments that we need to make to line it up, we make to this piece. Make sure you make your adjustments on that piece. So what I mean by that is we'll tab into edit mode, want to select vertex select, and I'm going to turn this to vertex snap with active, and just because you can already see actually that gap there. When we're going to run around and close these gaps, but we want to make sure that we weld from this unit onto the one that's parallel to the wall. So with that, I'm just going to press G and let that snap. We go around the wall like that. Just snap it to the opposite. Okay, so that's that side, and now we'll just do this one. Alright. Oops. What happened there? Blender and its oops moments. God, you gotta love it. Okay, so that's pretty much that then. We're gonna duplicate the capping here, and we're gonna use shear to get that curve. And then maybe in the next video we'll do that, and I'm going to maybe cut a door into this. Maybe we'll get a double door into that. But this is the point now where we can kind of break away and really start designing things rather than just these simple boring things. And then for every wall unit we make, we can have a look and see how we can design a roof piece for it as well. But now things from this point are going to get very creative. But with that, it also, like we set up the cutters there, they get more creative, but they also get a little more technical. But I'll try my best to explain it and keep it as simple as possible. But for this video, I'll call that. Actually, before I call that, I want to join these. So Control J, I'll press 1, edit, go, press 1, select everything, right click and merge verts by distance. Just to join everything together. And now I want to set up my pivot point in the right place there. So to do that properly, actually what I'll do, I'll go to increment snap, and I want to set the pivot first. I just need to set it to a grid point. So maybe here. I think that's on a grid point. To be extra safe, I'll just press Alt and G. And there you go. Yeah, that snapped it to the world origin, so it is on a grid point. But now I just need to line this up so that when it rotates, it'll rotate perfectly for me. So to do that, I don't want to move the grid or the origin point here. So I'll tab into geometry mode or edit mode, 3 for polys, A to select everything, and I'm just going to move this around. So I know I want the edges of this wall in line with that origin point there. So it's fine here. I just need to now to move it up on the y-axis until it locks there. So we see on this axis and that's the origin point set up properly there. So from that, what we can do, we can now duplicate these and rotate them out, and they'll line up perfectly for us. And from that, we can really start getting some nice curvature into the walls and doing some really nice designs as far as exterior building goes. But that's that setup. In the next video, I will take a look at getting the capping done for this, and maybe we'll look at using knife project to cut maybe some windows and doors or something into another instance of that. But we keep that as it is for now, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.